Saturday, April 30th, 2022. I'm watching this show called Undercover Boss. This particular episode is about a gentleman by the name of Tim White. He's something called a chancellor. These titles are not household words in New York for my family and for Linda and for when I was growing up and for my children. He said he runs something called a University of California that goes by an initials of UCR. I had never heard of it. Not unusual. In my life frame, they did not explain about college. So the first scene is he's trying to teach one of the classrooms, but it gives an inside look at what the classrooms look like. He was teaching some kind of mechanics. I've never even taken a mechanics class the way that it wasn't even offered as a possibility. Then he goes into the actual brick and mortar library where you can physically tactile touch books and whatnot. And he's working in the library. And I thought this interesting as well because I'm like, that seems like such a key place that one should probably spend most of their time in a college library kind of a thing, or even in the local library. But again, growing up into my life frame, well, I've been to the buildings, learning the bibliothèque system, learning the filing of things in alpha, numeric, value range, to learn the sections of the library. There was no schooling on any of that. There's no even introduction or immersion into that kind of stuff. There's a whole lot of just sitting in a room and just wasting time doing nothing important. I don't know why the important things in life weren't being fostered or harnessed or even cultivated. I also noticed that the people working in the library are one way, and integrated in there, the attendees of this college are more not us in North America. So that gets really confusing. Then it goes, which I wasn't really interested in at all, the sports track, which Tim White himself says that he doesn't feel very athletic. He said something about water polo. I'm like, I never even heard of that. Then on track and field, it's more not us, but different not us than the kids that were in the library. But you know what I don't see? I don't see my kids anywhere. There are more of the not us than there is of us in every aspect of this college, whatever, or university that they're perpetuating in North America. And it's not the first generation that they've done this. It's part of a bigger existential problem.
Tim White, the chancellor at UC Riverside, is undercover at his own university.
Hello?
His co-workers believe he's part of a TV show where a private school employee is researching the public school experience.
And I'll write it up here while he's figuring that out.
I think she just said it was small.
His journey continues.
I'm outside the Orbach Science Library. I'm getting ready to go in and work with a student librarian.
Do you have your UCR card?
There have been serious budget cuts here. We've tried to protect the academic, of which the library is a key piece of that. The last thing I want to see is it having an effect on the student's education. So as I'm looking at huge budget cuts, it's going to be enormously informative for me to see.
What I don't understand is why, when libraries an organization between alphanumerics and the sections of the library and keeping in live engagement in this library culture, which leads to other things. Why was that completely wiped off of the importance in North America for people like myself? Why was my placement there replaced by things that are not North American? And who was actively taking part in keeping me out and allowing others in?
See, through the lens of a student worker, how's the library doing? Hi, is Natasha here, please?
Nastasia?
Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm Pete.
Nice to meet you.
Nice
Welcome
to
to
meet
the
you.
science library.
All right.
You can come right on back.
Okay.
So we're gonna go to the second floor and shelve these books. And then also we're gonna take walkies, just in case the front desk gets overwhelmed and they need me to come back. So I'm gonna give you one too. You can just go Nastasia and then I'll hear you.
Okay.
You wanna push this? We'll
Yeah.
go up to the elevator.
How many hours do you work?
No more than 19 per week. Since I want to be a teacher at an Undercover school, I'm a part-time worker and a full-time student. So we're gonna go to the right. All of the shelves are labeled. I'll start you off at Q130, that way.
All right. Q. Looking for Q130. Yes, Q130.
That's an O. I'm gonna let you finish this shelf, and then I'll do the bottom, and we'll see how far we can both get
Okay.
in 20 minutes. I'll be back.
30. Where the heck is QA3? QA3. Does a hole go before B? Hey, Nastasia. Hello, this is Pete. All right, time to be self-reliant. I can't even see anything that looks like this around here. I'm not an expert, but it certainly crossed my mind that the manual sorting and placing on the shelves, there's got to be a better way.
B, can you hear me?
Yes, Nastasia.
Again, this is part of a process that's incredibly important with skill building and skill learning that I've been withheld from for certain. And the more that I watch pieces like this, the more discovery of all the things that are so crucial and important that have been taken away, freedoms that have been taken away and not acknowledged at anywhere, and not even in my ability to recall unless somebody brings it up in some other fashion. For a relatable going, oh
Okay,
yeah,
yeah,
why
awesome.
was that?
I got these all screwed up now. QA3. Bingo. So I's and ones look the same. This is Pete from Natasha. So I have a question on this book. It's called The Mathematician's Apology. Thank you.
When we were talking on the walkie-talkies and I realized we were on the same aisle, it was awkward. I was like, well, I can see you, so our time is up. So we're gonna head back downstairs and see how the circulation desk is doing.
But see, even with him, and he's the chancellor of this university, whatever that means, he's not fluid in the library. That's frightening.
We'll work
Okay.
on the computer because that's mostly where my job is at.
Okay, doke.
When it looks like these come back, they're the reserves. That way, if I can't afford to buy it,
I see.
or if it's not in yet, I can come use it
Okay.
within the library. Do you want to help him?
Can I help you?
So since he has a hold, it's on the hold shelf.
Reserve whole shelf. Gotcha. And so then,
Oh, and there should be another one too.
okay.
Yeah.
So Natasha, I'm having trouble. I found this book, but he said there was another one. This is like just the solutions manual, but there's a textbook associated with this.
Did you put a hold in the textbook as well, or just the solutions?
The text back.
Yeah, you only had a hold for the solutions.
So you can get the answers, but not the questions.
Yeah, that's not really true.
They're both not coming back until 8.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh, I honestly should have hold on both of them.
You can take the book.
I mean, I can't use the solutions manual without the actual book.
I mean, it has the answers in it. So, I mean, you could.
Is this part of sacrilege? I'm just curious.
Could use. It tells you what the questions were, I believe. I mean,
It doesn't have all the questions.
True.
My job at the university is to make sure that our students can access everything they need to learn. So here's an example of not having enough copies of a given textbook available to our students. So he's going to alter the way he studies. My business is to make sure that that doesn't happen. And when we fail, it is not a point of pride when we don't meet a basic need. So you're going to get a teaching.
What about people like myself and my children who aren't even given the opportunity in the same country to even know that your university exists or to even strive for enrollment?
Teaching credential, and then you're going to go teach underprivileged. So how do you feel about that?
I feel good. I'll let you know when I graduate. It just seems like so far away, even though I'm halfway done.
I really don't care about a personal story because it's one of these sob stories where like everybody gets their paychecks out and their charity cards and they're just writing checks. I've seen it 1,000 times told before. You know what I don't see? I don't see any of the exact same stories being told of my level of person. And I know we're out there. We're just not even being addressed.
And later, Tim's past continues to.
Some things differently here.
Okay, so let's get back to shelving those books.
Oh boy.
Coming up, the chancellor has trouble giving a tour of his own campus.
How many of you know what a chancellor is? Nobody.
And later,
I still don't know.
Tim's past continues to haunt him.
Makes me miss my mom and dad too, just thinking about it. Today I'm going undercover as an assistant track coach.
Runner set, go!
And we're looking at track and the other sports and the athletic programs to generate more revenue, which will take some pressure off the general fund budget. So I'm going to be looking to see if there's things here in track and field we can do more efficiently to be able to then save money and not have to cut programs for students. Are you Nate?
Nate Brown.
Pete Weston, how are you?
Pete, pleasure to meet you. I'm track and field and cross country assistant coach here at the university. So what we've got going on here is these are 400-meter runners.
I'm not running, right?
No, you're not.
Okay, all right.
You're going to help me time. You're going to help me encourage them.
Okay. Athletics played a big piece of my earlier life. I was involved in swimming and water polo. From that, I got a scholarship, which changed my life. For me to get back now and touch athletics in a more meaningful way, actually, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Guys, this is our assistant coach for the day, Coach Weston. He's going to help me out with some times.
Hey, guys.
All right, gentlemen, we're getting ready to get.
So, I don't really need more than that, but something about a general fund. Again, these are not things that were taught to like couch potato level, or even in the brief college that I went to. It's really confusing how even their internal mechanics of just one university, from a chancellor's perspective, and nobody even knows what a chancellor is on that campus. I still don't know what it is in New York. These are not words that are defined or household words. I mean, there's a principal at the local elementary school. Nobody really knows what she does, but she pulls the student body together with some city integration, I suppose. and she's the building supervisor, perhaps. That's the clearest definition I've ever received about a principal. If it's more than that, I wouldn't know. Star 1978, Star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza, Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxy is broken. It's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. And the principal's not really visible. It's April 30th, 2022, and it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.